Hi, Mary. Thank you so much for taking the time out to meet with me today. I received an email about joining a patient advisory board, also known as a PAB. However, there wasn't a lot of information about what a patient advisory board is and expectations from the committee. The email, it just simply reads, you have been invited to join a patient advisory board, a PAB, for this innovative clinical trial. Please accept or decline our invitation. I've never been a part of a patient advisory board, but I know that you have had both good and bad experiences, and I have so many questions. Do you mind just talking to me?
Absolutely. Precious, I'm happy to kind of, lead you down at least my experience with PABs. I think patient advisory boards are really important, and I think that, being a part of it can really add to the kidney community.
I mean, that makes sense and all, but what's the difference between a PAB and a patient advisory committee? Aren't they the same?
Well, they're kind of the same, but some groups actually think that a patient advisory board really is more of a recommendations for certain matters that they might be looking at, where really with a advisory council, typically they don't have as much authority. So there can be a little bit different, but sometimes it can be interchangeable with how different groups actually proceed. But if there is a difference, I would say one is that the council is usually doesn't have as much authority, where with a patient advisory board, they give recommendations.
But I don't have any experience with a patient advisory board, so why would you think they would select me to join, especially for a clinical trial?
You've had a lot of experience. Your personal experience really is very credible on what you've been through personally. And I think you are very well spoken, where you can actually explain some of the needs for the patient community. So I think your voice is really important to be able to be heard. And that's really what patient advisory boards are looking for, is for somebody really to open up and actually help them to be the best that they can be.
Well, I appreciate that, Mary. I do try my best to be the best patient advocate that I can be. Not only advocating for my healthcare needs, but for the needs of others as well. I don't have like all the accolades and degrees behind my name. Do you think that what I have to share and say would be considered and perceived?
I think kind of downgrade ourselves that we're not good enough to be able to give that information when you're sitting with a bunch of, whether it's physicians or scientists. I think that we sometimes put ourselves even to the side, that maybe our information is not as valuable as theirs. But, from my experience, I have found that really they want to hear the patient experience. And so no matter how many initials you have behind your name or don't have behind your name, they really want the patient experience, and they want the information that you can provide and others may not be able to. And that's why they are looking at you for this position, to be on their patient advisory board, because you're an amazing young woman and you can actually tell your story and you can actually help them be better than they are today.